You reach into your mixing bowl to pour your soap into the mold, and suddenly it turns into a thick, lumpy, almost concrete-like mass right before your eyes. Your heart sinks, and you wonder if you just wasted a full batch. I am Kathy the Clumsy Soaper, and today we are going to rescue a seized batch of soap in 3 minutes flat. You will learn what causes seizing, how to recognize it fast, and exactly what to do to save your batch. Whether you make soap at home or at a commercial scale, this one is a game changer. Let us dive in together. You know that moment of pure panic when your soap batter goes from silky smooth to a lumpy, unmovable mass before you even get it into the mold? That is seizing, and it catches even experienced soapers completely off guard. The good news is, it is not always a lost batch. We are going to cover exactly what causes seizing at a chemical level, how to recover your batch in the moment, and more importantly, how to adjust your recipe and process so it does not happen again. Seizing happens when saponification accelerates faster than you can work with your batter. Think of it like cement mixing. Once it starts setting, you cannot slow it down by stirring harder. You only make it worse. The 3 main culprits are fragrance oils high in eugenol or vanillin, soaping at elevated temperatures, and overmixing at trace. The good news is, a seized batch is not automatically a loss if you move quickly and know your options. That bar can still cure into perfectly usable soap. When your soap seizes, your #1 priority is speed. Grab a spatula and start scooping that thick mass into your mold immediately. Do not fuss over making it look neat. Press the batter down firmly as you go to push out any trapped air pockets. Then bang the mold firmly on your work table a few times to help it settle. Rustic, textured tops are completely marketable. Panicking wastes precious time you do not have. When your batter has seized up so thick that pouring it is simply not happening, do not throw it out. Switch to hot process. Transfer your seized mass into a crock pot. Set it on low and let it cook for about an hour, stirring occasionally. The heat breaks down the raw soap batter and drives saponification forward. Once it smooths out, spoon it into your mold while it is still warm and pliable. Heat is your recovery tool here. And here is the smartest habit you can build as a soap maker going forward. Always test your fragrance oil before committing your entire batch. Here's how it works. You pull out roughly 1 cup of batter at light trace, stir your fragrance oil directly into that small portion, and just watch it. You will see in real time whether it thickens aggressively, whether it goes grainy, whether it moves, or whether it locks up completely. If that test cup seizes, your main batch is still safe sitting in your bowl. You have just bought yourself time to pivot. Pour it into the mold as a rustic single pour, add it back and hot process it, whatever your rescue plan is. Think of it exactly like a patch test before painting an entire wall. You would never paint your whole living room without testing the color in one corner first. Same logic here. Fragrance oils that accelerate badly in the cup test are ones you reformulate around. Either swap them out or build your recipe with cooler temperatures, lighter oils, and a thinner trace to slow everything down. That one small cup genuinely protects 90% of your batches from being lost entirely. It costs you maybe 2 minutes, and it saves you an entire batch. So now that you know what seizing is and why it happens, let us talk about keeping it from happening again on your next batch. 3 practical habits to build into your routine. First, always check your fragrance oil supplier notes before you soap. Reputable suppliers will flag known accelerators, and that information is there to protect your batch. Use it. Second, if a fragrance is known to move fast, put down the stick blender and hand stir only. A stick blender adds emulsification energy that can push an already risky fragrance straight into seizure. Hand stirring gives you more control and more time. Third, soap cool. Mixing your oils around 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit slows down the whole saponification reaction, which buys you precious working time before things start to thicken up unexpectedly. None of these steps are complicated, but skipping even one of them with the wrong fragrance can cost you an entire batch. Build these checks into your process every single time, and seizing becomes far less likely. Today, we covered what seizing actually is, why it happens, and most importantly, how to recover from it instead of panicking. Whether you are making soap at home or scaling up for production, understanding your fragrance oils and keeping your temperatures in check will save you every time. And remember, seized soap is not ruined soap. Work it into the mold and keep going. You have got this, and I am cheering you on. Once again, this is Kathy the Clumsy Soaper. Be blessed and be a blessing to others.